Hello, Anime. I don't know if you're still there or not. If you are, hello, welcome. I am just setting up, so we'll get this taken care of. I got to put my hat on, but so how are you doing today? I don't plan on having a real long live stream today, but you never know. Cow King, how you doing, sir? Welcome. Nobody wants to see my closet. Let's close that. Jalen, how you doing? Welcome. Thank you for coming. Like I said, I know Elvie's got one going on later, so we'll make sure everybody knows about that. It's been a lazy couple of days for me yesterday. I never even left my apartment. Today I went out with some friends. We went out and had lunch. And thank you, Jaylene. I appreciate that you liked it and shared it. And yeah, I went out and had teriyaki steak today for lunch. A friend of mine treated me and some others. Maylin, how you doing, Maylin? Welcome, Mel. We appreciate you coming. Like I said, I don't know how long we're going to be going today, but we'll go for a while. Today, well, for this time of year, today was a gorgeous day. It only got in the 50s, but for the middle of November, that's not bad at all. For this, where I live, it's got in the 50s, almost up to 60, which is not bad. It was a gorgeous sunny day. Okay, Millen. I know Elvie's got a live stream going today too. So, have you already had yours, Millen, or are you still going to do it? And but happy birthday, by the way, Millen. Melian. I'm not sure how you pronounce it. I'm sorry. But I want to wish you a happy birthday then. And I think Elvie's, it's her 2-year anniversary. I'll be on either on YouTube or being monetized. I think it's being monetized. You're welcome. You know, just remember hey, Mike, married to a beautiful woman. How you doing? Yes, Mike, it's November 11th, which is Monday, is also Veterans Day here in the United States. And the reason why, you probably know, but for the others that may not know, the reason why November 11th is considered Veterans Day is because World War I ended on the 11th day of the 11th month at the 11th hour in the morning. So hey Ian, how you doing? So in honor of the ending of the war in Europe, the First World War, November 11th is Veterans Day, because like I said, that's when the war ended. The 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month of the year. And so here in the States, evidently in Canada, we celebrate Veterans Day on the same day, November 11th. And that's why the 11th was picked as Veterans Day. And now I'll be working the 11th. I may get to work and find out they're not there. And if they're not, I'll find out what they want to do. I'll probably be able to shut it down and leave. But they'll have to pay me for 4 hours because I'm going to show up because nobody told me not to. Some places work, some places don't. The banks will all be closed Monday. All the state and federal buildings will be closed. But that doesn't mean everybody else will be off duty. I'm not working, so it all depends on your contract, your company, all that. So, it's my normal work day. I'll go in. If they're working, I'll work. If they're not, I'll call somebody and find out what they want me to do. Because the gate will probably open up at the normal time unless they, so I'll have to be there to make sure it gets shut. I'll call the other people that are over the control the gates, the timers, and have that changed if they're not working that day. Hopefully they are, but I'll take the day off if they're not. Yeah, Mike, like I said, a lot of that depends on where you're at. The government, everything's closed for the government on Monday. As a matter of fact, a friend of mine's car registration is expired, so they were talking about going down Monday. They won't be able to do that. It'll be closed. Pretty sure that'll be closed. They won't be able to go down there Monday. I hope they take care of it online, so hopefully they can. And that'll help them out because you can do that any day of the week. I had to do my registration and car inspection. That was back in August. And so that's all been taken care of. It's real simple if you go to the license bureau and go in and take care of your car registration and everything. It's real simple. I do advise anybody that's doing it to have the paperwork filled out before you get your number, because I had some information I had to go out to my car to get. And when I went back in, I sat around for a long time and was wondering why I hadn't had my name called. Hey, Sean. Turned out when I was out there to my car, and I wasn't gone maybe 5-10 minutes, and they called my name that quick. So it was, not my name, my number. So I had to get a new number. And about 10 minutes after I got the new number, I went back up. And hey, Madeline, we got Shane Madeline. Mr. Michael Hunt is here, as well as Mike, married to a beautiful woman. Welcome, everybody. If you want to come up, at the top of the chat area is the thing that you can click on and come up. So, like I said, today we got a couple things going on. Melanie Calapane, I'm not sure how Melanie pronounces her last name, but it's her birthday. And then LV's having, I believe it's their 2-year anniversary thing today. So, we got a lot going on. Like I said, yesterday, I never left my apartment once yesterday. Opened up the door a few times and looked out, but I never walked out of my apartment. Today I did get out and about. Like I said, I walked down and got my mail today, which I didn't do yesterday. Went down and got it today. But like I said, there's some friends called and wanted to go to lunch. So I went with lunch. They bought the lunch. That was really nice of them. And so we did that. And then I went and ran a couple errands. I left a couple errands I'm going to do tomorrow just to make sure I get out of the house. I have to go by the bank, pull some money. I got money in my pocket, but I'm going to have to buy gas later in the week, and I like to pay cash because of the gas station I go to, if I pay cash, it's 10 cents a gallon cheaper. And I always get over 10 gallons, so it's going to be over $1 cheaper if I pay cash. But I have used a card sometimes when they didn't have the cash on me, but like I said, I need to go get some money so I can have some money. I have to do a couple other errands besides that. So I'll get out and run around some tomorrow. I probably do my laundry tomorrow. That's something else I have to do. I could have done today, but too nice a day to spend it inside the laundromat. Tomorrow's supposed to be a little less of a nice day, a little bit better chance for rain. So I'll do that. Now in a couple weeks, next week I'll still have my live stream, but the week after, the weekend of the 22nd, which is 2 weeks from now, I'm not going to do a live stream. Just to let you know right now, the plan is I'm going to New York City with some friends. We're going to go down to New York City, and I'm going to take some videos. I'm hoping to make it to a Jollibee down there. I don't know if I'll be able to. I'm going down for a couple days, so but I want to make it to a couple places. I'll get some videos. Charmaine, hello, welcome, and we'll do all that. So, like I said, next week I will have my live stream again. But the week after, I will not have a live stream. And like I said, I don't plan on being home that week. I'm going to run down to the city. And now, Gelsey, I'm not sure how to pronounce your name. I want to thank you for coming. I hope you noticed I gave you a monitor. Now, if you're still there, where do you live? You take Mike, Married to a Beautiful Woman. He's in Canada. Mike Hunt's here in the States, like I am. I'm in New York. I want to say Mike is in the Midwest. Mike Hunt is in the Midwest, and most of the others are in the Philippines somewhere. So if you're there, Pamela, how you doing, Pamela? Oh, actually, we went to a very nice restaurant, Mike. I'm going to guarantee you it wasn't a cheap restaurant. I'm not going to say it was 5-star, okay? But it was a very nice restaurant. I know it cost my pretty penny. But, I've done them some favors, and I'll probably do them some more. And they just wanted to thank me, and they took me and a couple other people that's helped them out for lunch. So, matter of fact, next week I'll be helping them out next week. I'm going to drive them to Boston. We're going to use their car, but I'm going to drive them to Boston, and but I'll be back. Plenty of time. I'll be back on Friday. I'm going to go on Thursday. I'll be back Friday. I'll do my live stream on Saturday. So, but like I said, the following week, then I'm going to go to New York City with some different friends, and some of those friends were actually at the dinner today too. But I mean, but it'll be a different group I'm going with that, So we'll go down to New York City for a couple of days. And like I said, I'll get some YouTube videos up. All of that won't go up that weekend. They'll go up the following week. I want to try, if I can make it, I want to make it to what they call Little Manila. That's in New York City. They have a Jollibee there. They also have one down in Manhattan, but I don't know if I want to. That's supposed to be the biggest one, the one in Manhattan. But I want to go to a Little Manila if I can. It's not a real big. It's only about a block or two big, but it's got a lot of Filipino restaurants, not restaurants, but grocery stores. They got a Jollibee. So they got some stuff that's connected to the Philippines. I like to go see that. If I can, I'll get videos of that if I do go. Otherwise, I will get videos up. I just can't guarantee it's that. But if I have, that is what I want to do. So I'll try to get that done. And so, like I said, yeah, we'll drive down there. We'll leave on, I believe we'll leave Friday. We might leave Thursday after I get off work, but probably leave Friday. Drive down and come back on Sunday or something like that. And so, like I said, I won't do a live stream that weekend, but I will do one next weekend. And I was hoping to see Jerry and Dan, but they're not here. Mike, if you want to come up, come on up. As you can see, it's back behind me. I guess I could do this and hide it, but I don't care. You can see that up here is my dream catcher. Now, for those of you that don't know what a dream catcher is, I know the Philippines have them as well. They're supposed to catch your bad dreams and not let them through, so only your good dreams come through. Supposed to keep you from having nightmares. I got that from a Native American school that I helped. I spent money to help sponsor a little bit. Me that. Hey, Mike, how you doing, man?
Pretty good. How you doing?
Not too bad. Does that say white trash?
Yeah. let me turn the.
Not too bad. Does that say white trash?
Yeah.
Okay.
I gotta get it so it doesn't echo.
Well, okay. I was wearing my black cowboy hat today, so I probably look like white trash today. Well, it's cool enough. Like I said, it's only in the 50s. And so it was cool enough, but it was sunny. It was, if you're in the car, you didn't need the heat on, just left the windows up. It got very warm in the car. So, but like I said, it didn't get real hot, only in the upper 50s, low 60s for the high today. I was thinking about doing my laundry today, but I decided I didn't want to do that because I didn't want to waste my day in the laundromat. I'll do that tomorrow. But I just went out and ran errands and enjoyed the weather as much as I could. We're not going to get too many more. Now, what? You're in the Midwest, aren't you, Mike?
Yep, I'm in Indiana.
Where?
Indiana.
You're my home state.
Yeah, Fort Wayne.
Fort Wayne?
Yeah.
I had my cousins, they're down in Florida, but my cousins used to live in Fort Wayne. Now, he was an oral surgeon at I'm not sure, can't remember which hospital he was at, but he was an oral surgeon.
Huh.
And so that he's about my age, okay? He's 71 himself. So he retired a few years back, and they moved to Florida. And now, before he was the head of the oral surgery department at the hospital. I don't remember which one because I never went to it. Before that, he was in the Air Force. He was an oral surgeon for them, but before that, he went in as a dentist. And now the military, you may remember, you have to be under a certain age to be an officer. Well, he was over that age, but they had to make him an officer if they wanted him to be a dentist. It's required by his profession. So he went in. It was like a year or two later than what, I think it's like 28. They want you in by 28. I think he was around 30 when he went in. And he did 10 years or more, but after he was in it for a couple of years, they sent him to oral surgery school. The Air Force paid for his oral surgery school. And he was in Indianapolis for that. And he was there 2 years. That was full-time going to school and got his full pay. The Air Force paid for everything. And then he had to do so many years after that to pay him back. And he was trying to decide whether or not to go for his 20 or get out. And so I think he put out a couple of resumes. And like I said, the hospital in Fort Wayne offered him a really good job. So he took it. I'm not sure. He might have went reserves when he got out. That's their business. I don't get into that. Like I said, they live in Indiana. I'm in New York, so I see them when I see them, Now they're LV. Now, LV, you got your anniversary live stream today at 9:30 your time, which is going to be 8:30 my time. Right? Am I right? Jim Mendoza team. How you doing, Jim? Give me a second here. We'll give you a. I want to see what I got. Nope. That's what I want. Oops. Okay. I wanted to make sure. Okay. I thought so. Like I said, all the investment before that. So everybody can go join yours. Now, Melanie, I think she already had hers. Today was, she had her birthday live stream.
Happy
And so we
birthday.
already were, we wished Melanie a happy birthday earlier. So, all right. Now, Jim Mendoza is from the Philippines as well. Jim Mendoza, what part of the Philippines are you from? If you don't mind my asking. Now, I don't need, you can tell me Leyte or Cebu or Luzon or, if you just want to mention your island, that's fine. Now, my goal, a lot of the people that know me, you're new here, so I'll let you know. I plan on moving to the Philippines. The first place I plan on going to is Cebu. I think it'll be an easy landing spot. It's a big enough city that whatever kind of Western type stuff I want, they'll have it. And it'll let me stay there, get adjusted. And then I can, if I don't like it as much as, as where it's like, oh, I'm in love with this place. Well, then it'll give me a place to be at and then go out from there to check out other islands like Leyte, Dumaguete area, Mindanao, like Davao. I wouldn't mind checking out Davao, Iloilo. There's a couple places on Luzon Island I wouldn't mind checking out. But like I said, I'm going to Cebu first, and if I love it there, then I'll check those places out just to check them out. But it won't be as big of a rush because, like I said, I want to find where I want to live, and because I do want to settle down there and stay there. Mike can tell you, he's probably, I don't know if he's like me or not, but I hate the snow. I hate the cold. Now in Indiana, every year somebody gets an ice storm. That's been in my hometown. It's been in Fort Wayne. It's been in somewhere in Indiana almost every year around January or February. Somebody gets an ice storm. So it was that way when I lived back there. Every year, man, somebody got an ice storm.
I remember once it was negative 11 and my brand new truck wouldn't start up.
Yeah. And folks, when we say negative 11, that'd be more like what, negative 30, negative 20 something for about negative 20 for you guys. If not, no, probably even worse than that. Let me see here. Negative 11 Fahrenheit equals what in Celsius? Minus 23.8, so about 20 minus 24. So negative 11 Fahrenheit would be about a negative 24 Celsius. So believe me, that's cold. You get down to 0 Fahrenheit, it's cold.
Yeah.
Now, 0 Celsius is equal to 32 Fahrenheit. All right. So when you're getting the negatives, we're still in the positive numbers. But like I said, when we get into the negatives, you can believe it's cold.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Like I said, I can take it. I just don't like it, and now that I work out, I work outside a lot more than I used to when I was younger. It's a lot tougher too nowadays. And of course, when I was younger, I could take the cold better too.
Yeah.
Well, I'm working at a construction site now. I'm a security guard, but I work at a construction site. Now, I don't have to go out in the cold a lot, but I do have to go out in it occasionally. It all depends on how busy the site is. I don't deal with the union workers. I don't deal with them at all. But it's the delivery, it's the visitors. And so sometimes I'm busy as all get out, and other times I'm not that busy. And so that like you take what day was that? Tuesday. I was busy as all get out Tuesday, and but Tuesday was a nice day. And then Wednesday and Thursday weren't that busy now, but Tuesday was a busy day. And but you know, that's just part of my job. Sometimes I'm going to be busy, and sometimes I'm not. I do have to go outside once in a while, whether I'm busy or not, because there's just things you have to do. You have to check on something, and but I have my own little office. It's heated. It's air conditioned during the summer. I got a microwave. I got a coffee pot that I took in. I got a 5-gallon jug thing of water, that one of those water dispensers. So it's a nice little setup. I did a video on it.
Sounds nice.
But I have to, now once the weather starts getting cold, I won't have to do this, but I have to go to a different trailer to store my food because I don't have a refrigerator. But that's all right. I mean, I usually walk down, put my food in the refrigerator, and then I'll walk back down and get it at lunchtime. Now lets me get out and stretch my legs and do, move around, because the more I move around, the easier it is to stay awake. So, some days just harder to stay awake than others. But if I get a good, like Mondays is tough for me to stay awake. I can stay awake the whole time, but it's tough because I don't get a good night's sleep Sunday night, Monday mornings. I just don't. Partly because I'm not, I stay up late and sleep in on my days off. I'm not one of these creatures of a habit that I have to be in bed by a certain time. I have to get up at a certain time. That's not me. And when you take the kind of work I do, this side here, I work 6 to 4. Now, before here, I was working 7 to 3. Before that, I was working 7 to 3 and 7 to 7. And then before that, I was working, what was it? No. That was 3 to 11, 3 at night to 11. No. Before that was 8 to 4:15, or 4 o'clock, something like that. I can't remember. And then before that was 3 to 11. And then before that was 9 in the morning to 5 in the afternoon. So it's kind of hard to get on a sleep habit when every so often you change what you're doing.
Yeah.
And most of the time I work day shift, but like I said, I have worked 3 to 11 a few times. It's been a while, but I've even worked overnights, 11 to 7, midnight to 8, stuff like that. But I'm, I can usually adjust my sleep. It just takes me a little bit to adjust. But I've never been a person I have to be in bed by 9 o'clock and I have to get up at 7, or I have to get up at 5, or, some people go to bed at 9 o'clock and they get up at 4 every day, whether they're working or not. We appreciate you being here, LV. Now, I will join your live stream later. I'm going to close this one down probably about the time you start yours. We may close it earlier. Depends on what's going on. But I do want to be at yours. I happen to be JGBK, man. How you doing? A long time, JG. Now, JG is a gentleman I met through an old vlogger The guy that no longer vlogs, it was Chris and Cebu. Chris and Cebu used to do live streams, and he'd walk around Cebu and show you the sites that were going on and answer your questions. And he had a large following of people that in the States or Canada that were from Cebu area, and they would watch. And matter of fact, it's Chris and Cebu's why I started using the name Lazy Larry. Doing well. Still working though, JG. My mom's still living. She'll be 99 in January. She keeps saying she didn't want to make 100, but I keep telling her that's up to the good Lord. But so, are you still doing your live streams once in a while? I haven't seen one. But how's Deval Don doing? Have you heard from him? I haven't seen him in a long time either. But like I said, with Chris and Sabu is why I use the name Lazy Larry. When I was watching Chris and commenting on his live stream, there was me, Larry Lee. There was a guy named Larry G. Another guy, Larry B. His last initial was B. So we had Larry Lee, Larry G, and Larry B. There was another Larry or two, but they had different last names. That was easier to tell apart. So it was like, you'd hear him say Larry something, and it's like, well, did he say me or did he say one of the other two Larrys? And so I changed my name to Lazy Larry, And then I started doing some streaming, and my very first stream was a talking head, and I explained how I got the nickname Lazy Larry and why I used it. And everybody was telling me they were having a hard time finding my channel. Turned out, when I typed in Lazy Larry, a bunch of cartoons came up about a Lazy Larry. It was a cartoon character called Lazy Larry. So I figured, well, let's add my last name back in, because I never was trying to hide my last name. So I went to Lazy Larry Lee, and I'm the first thing that pops up now. Or at least I was the last time I checked. So that's how I went from Lazy Larry Lee to Lazy Larry to Lazy Larry Lee. Hey, Derek, welcome, man. Thank you for coming. Charmaine, too. JG, I'm with you. I don't want to work anymore, but I can't afford not to work and still live in the States. And I'm not going anywhere with my mom being 99. And I just got a bunch of bills paid off, so I got to work another year at least, maybe 2, to save up some money. So when I do finally quit working, and I will be able to move to the Philippines, which is what I want to do. So are you still living down there in the New York City area, or have you moved on from there? And Derek says you got a smashing dog, Mike.
Yeah, the dog's checking out the TV. He's on TV.
What was he doing on TV?
Yeah, there's a TV behind my camera, and there's a delay, so he's on there.
Okay, he had to check himself out, huh?
Yep.
All right. Yeah, I sometimes watch YouTube on my TV in my living room, but then I got to make sure I have my phone. If I want to comment, I got to have my phone. And but you're in Brooklyn, not traveling until next year. I understand. Hey, like I said, right now, I'm not traveling anywhere except for back home to visit with my mom. I am going to Boston next week, but that's to help somebody else out. I'm not going I'm going to drive over there and turn around and drive back. That's why they bought me my supper, if you want to know the truth. I'm at my lunch today. But yeah, that's why I said I got to work another year to 2 years so I can get my ducks in order, get everything lined up. And I'm trying to figure out if I want to go with the Navy Federal Credit Union or the USAA Credit Union, the Federal Credit Union. I want to see if either one of them has a brick and mortar location near me, because I would rather go in and talk to them.
USAA is pretty good if you can get with them.
Well, both
You're in the
of them.
military.
Yeah, I'm military. I'm Navy. Both the Navy Federal Credit Union and the USSA, if you're traveling, from my understanding, reimburses your ATM withdrawal fees.
No, there's no withdrawal fees. You can go to Disney World and they charge you $20 to get in, to get the money, and they pay you back.
As I said, yeah, the Federal Credit Union and the Navy Federal Credit Union and USSA both do that, from what I understand. So I'll do a little more checking, but I got plenty of time because that's where, once I start saving money, that's where the money's going to go into. All right, it's going to go into one of those. So I'll have 3 accounts. Right now I got 2. I got one where my Social Security goes to, and I got one where my work checks go to. And once I quit working, I'll close the working checking account down and transfer all that money that's left into the credit union, whichever credit union I go with. And then I'll have part of my I'll have most of my money either automatically transferred from. I got to see how much money I got to have put in the one bank account to keep the fees free, because there's a minimum that you got to have deposited every month, direct deposits, where they don't charge you anything.
No, USA doesn't do that.
Well, no, I'm not worried about them. I'm worried about the one, because I'm going to have one kept for emergency savings, and then I'm going to have the whichever federal credit union I go with, that's going to be the one I'm going to live off of. So most of my money is going to go to it. Okay, so I can get it out when I need it. But the other one's going to be, I'll be able to get the money out of it when I need it, but it's going to be, that's not part of, when I look into my account, that's not what I'm seeing. It's not showing it's there because it's in a different account. That's my emergency fund. See what I'm saying? You need an emergency fund, so in case something comes up, you got extra money. You don't want it, for me, I don't want it in the same account that I'm living out of. I want extra money in that account. So, in case something comes up, I want to do something extra, it's there. But my emergency fund, I want in a separate account. So if I need a few $1,000s, it's in a different account. I can pull it out and I got it, And also that's going to be like, if something comes, I want enough money there that if I have to, I can come back to the States. If I really have to come back in a hurry. Also for medical, when you need medical, if I don't have it in my one account, I'll have it in that account that's there.
Hey, you're a vet, aren't you?
Yes, I'm a vet.
Okay, I checked it out a little bit because I'm a vet too. There are VA hospitals there.
Well, there's a VA clinic in Manila, and if it's service related, they will treat you. But if it's not service related, they'll see you like the first time you get there, but after that you have to go somewhere else. Now they're trying to get Medicare taking where it can be used over there, because there's a lot of nurses and other Filipinos that have come to the United States and worked for years, and they've got their Social Security and they got their Medicare. And but they go back to the Philippines to live, they can't use it. So they're trying to get it to where they can use it in the Philippines. And if they can get to where they can use it, then we'll be able to use it as expats. So, but I hear that may be a few years down the road. And so you got to be like I said, you got to think about your health. That's one of the reasons why I like Cebu. They got good hospitals. Because wherever I do decide to live, I want a decent hospital close to me. The older you get, the more important it is to have a good hospital or good medical care around you somewhere. And I don't
You don't have a
want to,
rating?
huh?
You don't have a rating? A disability rating?
No, I'm not disabled.
Okay. I got a disability rating.
Yeah, but whatever your disability is, they will take care of. If it's VA disabled, they'll take care of that.
They
But
take care of everything
the
here.
only place I know that has that is Manila.
I
Now, do
got
you
social
have, what do they call that? TRICARE, or what is it?
TRICARE
Do you have
or
VA?
uh,
The insurance, there's an insurance if you, if you have that with the VA, I can't remember what it is.
I think
I don't
it's
have it because I'm
TRICARE.
not, huh?
I think it's TRICARE.
I think it is. If you got TRICARE, you can use that at different hospitals and they'll reimburse it. But you have to check and see which ones.
But let's say I lost an arm or about to I have an infection in my eye and I
Uh,
possibly could lose my eye. They'll treat me anywhere.
uh, well, if you got TRICARE, yeah.
No, without it.
Well, you better check on that because I know the VA.
Because
I'm
I
not sure.
got
I'm not sure how quick they'll. I'm not sure how quick they'll reimburse you. You're going to have to pay up front first in all those places.
I forget what it was. There was something wrong with my ear. I had an ear infection.
No, no, I'm
And
talking about in the Philippines, not here in the States.
in the States, yeah.
In the States, it's different.
Yeah.
Yeah. But hey, Lorraine, how you doing, Derek?
Hey Lorraine.
But no, like I said, though, for me, it's I get my medical through the VA. I'm a Vietnam era veteran, not a Vietnam vet, Vietnam era veteran.
Yeah, I know
I
what you mean.
served during Vietnam, but I was never in Nam. I had orders to Nam, and they canceled them. Now my older brother had been in Nam, but I was lucky enough I didn't have to go. I was sitting in Yokosuka, Japan, with orders to Vietnam, and they canceled them because of the Paris peace talks of 72, 73. So I didn't go. But yeah, I did over 6 years in the Navy, and the original copy I had of my DD 214, it's long gone. I have copies of it, but you know the flimsy paper.
Yeah.
That's still at Vigo County Courthouse in Terre Haute, the original, and the one I had for myself is long gone. It disappeared along. It got tore up. Because they tell you to carry it, and for a long time I carried a DD 214 with me, and they wear out and you got to replace them. And so I have copies of them, but like I said, they are a paper copy that the Philippines wouldn't accept it because it's not notarized. It's not, it's just a copy. But yeah, I have. Let me see something here real quick. Hang on a minute. I want to get something out if I can find it.
Yeah, I don't know if I still have a DD 214 available.
See that one?
See what?
It says there are no ex-sailors. Our title is earned, never given, and what is earned is yours forever.
Huh.
Now, let me see if I can find this other one real quick. Now, this one is dirty, so I had to turn it back, right side back out. Oh, pie. This one says, I am a Navy veteran. No, it says, I am a grumpy Navy veteran. My oath of enlistment has no expiration date. And it's pie, and he's got tattoos 1775 and United States Navy. It says, don't mess with my flag, my anthem, my country. I am proud to be a Navy veteran. If this offends you, I don't care. These were on, I can't remember if it was YouTube or not YouTube. It was on, can't remember where I saw them at. Either YouTube or TikTok or something like that. And I bought them. Especially, I liked, especially the grumpy old Navy veterans. I was wearing that the day I went to the USS Constitution in Boston. Went on board the old Constitution, you know?
Yeah.
And I got a video of that up as well. I was wearing that T-shirt there, the one with the saying, I'm a grumpy old veteran. I believe that was the one. It was either that one or the other one. And I forgot I had it on. And I'm walking back towards my car, and some lady says, I like your T-shirt, or I like your shirt. I think, well, thank you. And then I thought, oh, yeah, I know what one I'm wearing. I remember I was wearing one of those. You know, here I just been to the USS Constitution, you know. But, you know, it was a good day. It was that was during the summer. So it was a nice warm day. Took the duck boats, if you know what they are.
Oh, yeah.
I took the duck boat ride and did a few things. Went to Chinatown and that was a good trip. But so yeah, it's yeah. I'm a proud Navy veteran. I even got a hat that says Navy right across of it. That has Navy here. I bought that at the USS Constitution Museum. And then I got one that has the old, it's the Annapolis's type hat. It's got the old Billy Goat, the Billy Goat with an N on its chest. And that one's getting pretty worn. I'm going to have to get another one to replace it or get a different hat. But it's pretty well sweat stained and it's so it's getting old. Now the one from the Constitution, I rarely wear it. But I'll probably start wearing it. But I wear cowboy hats more than ball caps now. So they give me protection over my ears as well. And I think I've told you, I know I've told a lot of them. I've had places on my hands and my forehead and my face that I've had to have treated for pre-skin cancer. So I wear the wide brim hat, the wider hats now, you know. My dad had skin cancer on his neck. My younger brother died from skin cancer. So it kind of runs in the family.
Oh my.
Yeah. So I have a lot of shirts that are they're like wearing sunscreen with their shirts. They just protect instead of be SPF, they're called UPF or something like that. They're 50. They're some are slim shirts, some are a little more of a dress shirt. Now, this time of year, I can wear short sleeves because I'm wearing a jacket when I'm outside because it's cool enough to wear a jacket. But before I started having trouble with on my hands and stuff, as much as I've had now, I hardly ever wore long sleeve shirts. I used to wear sleeveless shirts, go without hats all the time. I had convertibles, motorcycles, and I rarely wore a helmet when I was riding because back in Indiana, I don't know if you still can or not. Back when I lived in Indiana, you didn't have to wear a helmet to ride a bike.
No, you still don't have to.
Okay, well, see, I wore a helmet only if it was cold out, and that was to help keep the face warm. Almost never wore a helmet during the summer because I could ride my bike from March through November. I could not ride it December, January, and February. That's the only 3 months I couldn't ride my bike because I didn't have insurance on it. I had insurance on the other 9 months, and I would ride my bike in March. Because it'd be like, let's say, it'd be 30 out when I went to work, but it'd be 50 or 60 when I went home. And after the bike being up for 3 months, I was ready to get it out if it was going to be a nice day. And I didn't ride as much in November like I did in March. Okay, now you're going from the warm weather into the cold. So I didn't ride it to work, but if I got home and it was a warm day, I'd go for a ride. But like I said, in March, I'd ride my bike to work if I knew it was going to be warm when I went home. Because I only lived like 2 miles from work, So I'd freeze going in, get to work, and then when I get off, it'd be nice, and I'd just enjoy the ride. And I wouldn't go straight home. A lot of times I'd go for a ride. And so, yeah, I have a nice little scar right here from that bike. I went down. I got in a dance contest. The road won. The bike came in second, and I lost. The bike, the spoke off the back wheel, those bolts stick out about that far. One of them caught me here and just ripped me open. And so I couldn't get on the bike for a couple of weeks, but I rode the same bike. I went into the emergency room. And the emergency room doctor looks at me and goes, well, you know where I can get a bike cheap? And I said, no. He goes, you mean you're going to ride that bike again? I said, Doc, I've wrecked cars. I still drive cars. I said, I've had bicycle wrecks and I still ride a bicycle. I said, hell, I've got hurt riding a horse. I'll still ride a horse if I get the chance. I said, Doc, in Long Beach, California, I was walking across the street and got hit by a car. I still cross streets. I said, if I ever quit doing everything I got hurt at, I wouldn't get out of bed. Because in Long Beach, California, it was, I want to say July 16, 1974, about 2 months before I hit 21. I'm walking across the street. I got the green light. I'm walking across the street. Car runs a red light. I get hit. I get a bruise above and below because I turn to look. I get a bruise above and below both knees and cut my stomach open and broke my left wrist. Now, the cop was a few blocks away, saw everything, but he was on foot. So he was too far away to get the license plate number. So the guy got away with it, as far as I know, clean. Because I'm on my way overseas. We're in Long Beach, California, with Seal Beach loading up with weapons. Then we left there, went to Hawaii. From Hawaii, we went to the Philippines. That's where we went that time. We went from Hawaii to the Philippines. And so, like I said, I got hurt. And there was, I still cross streets. What are you going to do? You're going to quit living? And so he just couldn't believe I was going to ride that bike again. It cost me $50 to get the bike fixed because the insurance paid the rest of it. Mm-hmm. Now it cost my insurance. What was there? Almost counting the bike and the medicine and the ambulance ride and the emergency room and all that stuff. It cost my insurance about $600. Cost me $50, and my insurance went down the very next year.
That's not bad.
Yeah, it went down. It went down $10 a month the very next year. And the reason for that was my younger brother, I had listed as a rider. All right. So that way, if he wanted to take my bike and go to Timbuktu, as long as he told me he was going, there's a lot of times he'd take my bike when I was working. Said, hey, mind if I use the bike today? No, go ahead. I'll drive in. I'll take the car in. And if he wanted to run up to Chicago or anywhere, I didn't care. Like I said, we're from Terre Haute. He knew that he could go because he was listed. If they pulled him over, he was listed as a rider. He was insured. Well, he hit the next age level, which offset the wreck by at least $10 a month. So, yeah, I was at $10 a year. I can't, because it wasn't. The insurance was real cheap. Now remember, this was back in the 80s. Okay, 80s and no. I rode a Honda. What they called it a 754. It was 750 and then FOUR. All right, it was a Honda 754. It was a 74 754. Now later on they changed it to CB 750. And the reason why they said 4 was in one of the first 4 cylinders. And they made 4. They only made them what they called them 754s for 3 years, 74, 75, and 76, if I remember right. I was either that or 73, 74, 75, but I think it was 74, 75, 76. And I had the 74. And hey, Ann, how you doing? Crystal, welcome. And so I rode that bike for another about 4 or 5 years, and I haven't rode a bike since, but I rode that bike for a few more years. And but yeah, I enjoyed it. But yeah. It depends on where I live in the Philippines, whether I get a bike or not. If I stay in Cebu, I'm not buying a bike, I don't think, because there's plenty of public transportation and it's not that expensive. And it depends where you live as well. If you live, I want to live, if I can, it's close enough that I can walk to a lot of places. Because let's be honest about it, it'd be better for my health if I walk. You know?
Yeah, that's true.
So I would like to live somewhere where I can walk and not. Now, if I decide I want to live a little farther where I'm going to need a vehicle, then I'll probably get a bike, a small one. Probably nothing bigger than a 250, maybe, if that. Oh, Beating, how you doing? Beating by Lynn. Welcome. And so we'll be doing that, and but yeah, like I said, if I can, I'd like to live where I can walk to almost any place, and then when I want to do something special, I can either rent a vehicle, or take a bus, a jeepney, something like that. But I don't want to. If I can, I would rather not have to use a vehicle every day. Like I said, if I'm living in Cebu, now if I'm living somewhere else, I may need a vehicle. Hey, Rona, Letamy, how you doing? Thank you for coming. Well, Ann, I'm not going to go real long today. Elvie's having her 2-year anniversary, I think, being monetized on YouTube. It'll be starting here in about a half hour. So I may go another half hour. Depends on Mike here, if he wants to hang out that long. And then then I'm going to go over to, I'll shut mine down and do something, then I'll go over to Elvie's. When I give Elvie support. And we're glad Crystal and Ann could make it, and Rona and Letamy and Derek. I mean, we're glad you all came. So Anna Mae Reyes was here first. ZP, how you doing, ZP? Dens, how you doing? But yeah, now like I said earlier, so I'll say it again now because I got more here. I will have a live stream next week, so there will be one again next week. But the week after, there won't be one. I'm going to go to New York City the weekend of the 22nd. I'm going to go down to New York City. I want to get some videos down there. I'm going to go down with some friends. And we'll spend a couple of days down there. And I'll get some videos. I want to try to make a Jollibee. They got a couple down there. I'm hoping to get to Little Manila. They have a smaller Jollibee than the one that's in Manhattan, but if I can, I'd rather go to the one in Little Manila. I may break down and buy myself some beer. I haven't had beer in a very long time. This is tea, in case y'all wondered. That's not beer. But they sell San Miguel at one of the grocery stores down there. And I haven't had San Miguel. So if they have San Miguel painted label, I may buy one just so I can have a San Miguel painted label. I haven't had that over 40 years.
Wow.
Yeah. I was out in San Diego last time I had a San Miguel, and I don't think that was painted label. I think that was regular printed label. I used to live a block from a Filipino club in San Diego, and I used to walk over once in a while and get a beer. And now I haven't told this story for a while, so some of the others may have heard it, but I'm sure you haven't, Mike. I used to have a '68 Chevelle Super Sport convertible when I was in San Diego.
Wow.
And 3-speed turbo hydro automatic on the floor, black leather bucket seats. And the first time I stopped by this Filipino club, they were outside doing a car wash. Okay. And they were raising money for the kids, you know. Now, most of the Filipinos were military or retired military. They were either Navy, Marines, whatever. Because San Diego's got a large military branch there, and some of them weren't, but most of them were. And so they were doing a car wash, so he raised money for the kids to do something. So I pull in, and I'm talking to one of the Filipino guys. Now, he's old enough that it was his kids, or his kids were part of the group that was washing the cars. He's probably in his late 30s, early 40s, which to me was old at the time because I was 21. You know what I mean? Yeah, amazing how time changes your outlook on things. And thank you for rating from ABCM. We appreciate that. But anyway, so I'm sitting there and I'm talking with the guy, you know, and his wife is moving the cars up so the kids can wash the cars, right? Well, she gets in my car and she hits the gas like she would. She had a B210, a Datsun B210, which I think is now Nissan. They changed their name back to the name in Japan, which was Nissan. But a B210 was very small, very, very weak motor compared to a 396.
Yeah.
So she hits the gas like she's driving her B210, and it squeals my tires. I mean, it barks them. Oh, she slams the brake on, puts it in park, jumps out, would not get back. Her husband and I are both just in there laughing our back ends off, you know, just laughing like crazy. And he could not talk her to get back in that car. He goes, no, honey, you did nothing wrong. That's just that car is just made that way. And it's like, you know, you just got to barely hit the gas, it will move. You hit it like you were driving your 210, and you just don't. And she would not get back in that car. So he got in, pulled it up for the kids to wash. But it was, I mean, she jumped out scared, you know, less, you know what I'm saying? And it was funny. I mean, you know, she did nothing wrong. I mean, that car was made to do that, you know?
Well, 396 big block will do it.
Oh, yeah. It doesn't take much to make those tires squeak. Yeah, those things will squeal like crazy. And so, yeah, that was my very first car, by the way. My very first car was a 1968 Chevelle Super Sport convertible. Loved it. And, but now this was in 75, so it wasn't brand new. It was an old car. This was in 75. After I bought it after I got back from the Philippines from that Westpac. I was telling you about where I got hit by the car. It was after that Westpac. We came back and I bought the car. And I traded it in and got a 68 Chevelle Malibu 307. Biggest mistake I ever made in my life. I hated that 307. And what really stinks is I had the money I could have had both cars. Because I had it paid off. I could pay the other. They weren't costing me that much money. But I thought I'm single. What do I need with two cars? I hated that 307. God, I hated it. After that 396, it was just such a disappointment.
Well, I bet.
But yeah. But oh well, you know, you live and you learn. But yeah, I loved it out there in San Diego. That was a great place. And now you said you were Navy as well, weren't you?
No, I was Air Force.
Air Force. All right, Air Force, like my cousin, her husband. Now
I was military police.
You were military police?
Yeah.
Okay. Now where were you stationed at?
Korea.
Okay.
And Warner Robins, Georgia.
All right. That's not bad. I mean, now my cousin, like I said, my cousin, her husband was in Minot, North Dakota when they first went in. Then they went into, I'm trying to remember, somewhere in Spain. I can't remember the base in Spain, but it was in Spain. And then he came back and he was in going to college, like I said, for to be an oral surgeon in Indianapolis, IUPUI. Now he was from Anderson, Indiana, and my cousin's from Terre Haute, like I am. And then he was down in Texas when he got out. He was served down in a couple of bases down there in Texas. You know the area down there.
Yeah.
And then so that's what he did not. My cousin George, my cousin Paula, her husband was Tom, the one in the Air Force, was her brother. He went Army, and he was in Baumholder, Germany, and he traveled all over Europe while he was in the Army over there. And but that's what he did with his vacation. He'd go to Holland, he'd go to France, he'd go to England. He'd travel around Europe, and he did 3 or 4 years. I can't remember. I want to say 3, it might have been 4. And so
My first
he
job
did
was
that.
Korea.
And matter of fact, it was because of my cousin George, myself, and a couple of our uncles that my cousin Paula's husband, Tom, joined the Air Force. Because it was after we got out, they went in. It was after we got out. But we'd be standing around at family reunions, and we'd talk about where we went and what we'd done, and comparing. You know how the military is. You compare each branch to each other, and where'd you go, what you do, and they were getting ready to buy a house, and he was in partnership with another guy in a dentist's office. And they were getting ready to buy a house and do a couple other things, and I was telling Tom about my dentist when I was a kid, was a retired Navy dentist, and Dr. Marshall, and that was my dentist as a kid. He did 20 years or more in the Navy, then retired, moved to Terre Haute. I don't know if that's where he was from or not. Might have been. I don't know where he's originally from, but he opened up a dental shop in the back of his house. He had 2 rooms set up. That was his office and his waiting room, receptionist office, and then the dentist chair office. And he'd only work maybe half a day, 3 or 4 days a week. It's just something to keep him busy. And then he'd go golfing. Like, I don't think he worked on Wednesday. He went golfing every Wednesday. He set up his schedule the way he wanted it. And I was telling Tom about that. And so they decided to try it out and see if they liked it, as a couple. Because when you're married, that's a decision you better make as a couple, whether or not you're going to the service. Unless you plan on getting a divorce like my cousin George did. He came home, told his wife, goes, "Oh, I joined the Army. I'm leaving such and such a day. And by the way, you're not going. I filed for divorce." And turned around and walked out. Well, that's another story there. But he's been married now to his second wife. They've been married, oh God, 40 years? That's over 40 years, almost. Let's see, they got married, was it 78 or 79? 79. So that's 45 years, going on 46 years. This is his first marriage, didn't even make it a year. He married this girl. We won't go into everything, but they got married. He'd been dating her for 2 years. They got married. And as soon as they got married, she started complaining about things that happened 2 years before that she never said anything about. And she started bringing up stuff. He goes, "Why didn't you say that, then? If you're having trouble, hey, Cindy, And so it just really made her mad that made him mad that she's now complaining about stuff that she should have complained about when it happened. You know, like, well, you know, I'm not going to complain until we get married. Then I'm just going to make your life miserable because this happened. You know, and so he decided he had enough of it and filed for a divorce and joined the army and left. And then he got married. We got out in '78, and they got married in '79. And him and his wife, like I said, they've been married ever since. And she hated his second wife. I never knew his first wife. They got married and divorced wives in the service. But his second wife hated me before she ever met me. She had never met me and hated me. Well, the thing is, George had to have his tonsils taken out shortly after he got out. And this is when they were still dating. And instead of wanting to ask him to see her first, he has to see me before he has to see her. And then if George and I went and did anything, he'd be half crunk by the time he'd go see her. You know, we were drinkers. So she blamed me for his drinking. And he was just as bad, if not worse than I was.
Yeah.
But, you know, that was her boyfriend, so she didn't blame him. She blamed me. Well, I'm going to tell you, Derek, when I got out back in the 70s, they didn't get as much respect as they do today. Like I said, I served during NOM, and a lot of the guys that served in NOM were not respected by the population when they got out. It was a different time frame. And now my hometown, they were still respected. But you went to the coast, either coast, there was a lot more disrespect towards the military. I mean, there was guys that actually got spit on when they came home. Like I said, didn't fly into an airport or anything like that. So when I got home, it was on a military base. I got off the ship. I was in civilian clothing, but they didn't stand outside the base and protest back in those days. At least not we're in San Diego. And when I went home to Terre Haute, they respected the military in my hometown.
I broke down in Terre Haute.
Huh?
I broke down one time in Terre Haute. My brother and I were bringing a car home from Oklahoma.
Yeah.
And the headers heated up the starter and it got heat soak.
Yeah.
And people went and helped us get the car started, helped get us to AutoZone.
People
nice
are
people.
pretty friendly usually. I mean, there are jerks everywhere, but there's some pretty good people in Terre Haute.
Yeah.
Like I said, when I was in, NOM was still going on when I went home. I could walk in a bar. Now, I wasn't 21. In Indiana, you had to be 21. Now, Illinois, you only had to be 18 or 19. It was 18 for a while, then it went to 19 before it went back up to 21. But I could walk in a bar when I was 19 years old in Indiana, in Terre Haute, pull out my military ID. They wouldn't even look at my age. They'd just give me a beer and say thanks for the service. Now, there was other places you walk in and show your military ID. I don't, not so much in Indiana, but in other states, they give you a hard time. But my hometown's like, hey, what are you drinking? They wouldn't even look at your age, man. What do you have? You know, and you can sit there and drink all day. And I could prove that because I had a friend that was in high school, and a buddy of mine and I both went home. We were 20, and my buddy was 18, and he borrowed my friend from the Navy. He borrowed his ID. Now, my buddy Dave is like 5'8". Now, my buddy Marv, whose ID he borrowed, is like 6 foot, and a lot thinner. Now, Dave wasn't overweight, but Dave was a little more medium to stocky, husky built, not heavy. He was not fat. He was muscular. And then Marv was thin, small boned. So, I mean, if they ever looked at the picture, they'd have known it wasn't him. But as soon as he pulled that military ID out, they saw it with military ID, good enough. What are you drinking, son? And they served both of us. I mean, it was kind of a trip. They'd serve. A lot of times we just go in and buy it and leave. Sometimes, because didn't want to stay in there, but they'd sell it to you. Because you can buy beer to go in the bars. But
Yeah.
now, so Derek must be in the United Kingdom because he says American forces sure get more respect for service than UK ever get at home. And that's sad. I mean, like I said, back in the 70s, it wasn't quite as much as respect as there is today. It really started changing after 9/11. Before 9/11, it was better than it was in the 70s, but after 9/11, 2001, that's when it really changed for the better. But so, hey, everybody, it's almost, we've been going over an hour and 15 minutes. Elvie's going to be starting hers in about 15 minutes. I got a couple things I want to
She
do.
already started.
Has she?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, everybody, get over to Elvie's or Melanie's. If she's got hers going, I don't know if Melanie's got hers going or not. She did say she had one, but tense does not always translate that well. So get over to one of the others. I think ABCM's going too because we had some people come in and said they were raiding from ABCM. So go support the people you support. I'm going to go to Elvie's because I'm a sponsor of this celebration. I'm one of the sponsors.
Well, thanks.
Huh?
Thanks.
Yeah. I've sponsored quite a few of Elvie's giveaways. And she's helped me with mine. Zindy Papa's here. Hi, how you doing, Zindy? How you doing? Glad you made it, but I'm getting ready to shut it down. I'm going to go join Elvie here in just a few minutes. I got a couple of things I want to take care of. Then I'm going to join Elvie's live stream for a little while. Then I'll probably get ready to go to bed because I did not sleep well last night. I'm glad to hear you're doing well, Zindy. And I really want to thank you for coming. I want to thank Mike for coming up, the old white trash himself. Hey, what can I say? I lived in a trailer for a while, buddy.
I like my other shirt. My other shirt says Cracker.
Well, my father was a truck driver cross country, and so we were middle class, if not upper middle class, back in the 50s and 60s, especially the 60s. And then in the middle 60s, my father went on total disability. My mom didn't work. So there was a few months where things were really, really tough. His mom didn't have a job. Dad was on total disability. He hadn't been able to get his Social Security or his retirement because, it takes a while out once you go. My dad stood about 6'3". Might have been a little taller, but he's right around 6'3". Might have been a little short, but he's, like I said, right in that height there. Weighed 258 pounds. He lifted something wrong I think he was loading. It might have been unloading his truck. Back in the 50s and 60s, you help load and unload your own truck. And he lifted something wrong. He went from 258 pounds down to 150 in 3 months.
Dang.
And never worked again. And so, like I said, for like 3 or 4 months before his Social Security, he was able to get his Social Security and then his retirement because he was, like I said, a Teamster. Things were very tough. I remember standing in food lines with my mom to get the government handout, the cheese and the peanut butter and the powdered milk and that kind of stuff. And so, yeah, I can remember some very tough times. That was back when I was preteen. I was about 11 years old when that happened, going on 12. And so, but it stuck with me. And that's one of the reasons why I always live my life for today instead of tomorrow. It's because my father always said if I was faking this, I would enjoy this. He was talking about his health. If he was faking his health, he would enjoy not having to go to work and spending time with the family. And So I put off saving for the next day. I live my life for today for a very long time. That's why I'm still working. Aileen, how you doing, Aileen? Thank you for coming. And so anyway, that's also one of the videos. I did something on that as well. One of my first few videos. I talked about before I was Lazy Larry. And then I did another video of why I added the last name Lee. And the reason why I did the first video about being Lazy Larry is Mike, married to, at that time he went by Mike, married to a beautiful Filipina. Then he changed to a woman. He thought it would be better than, like, I have a Filipino, I'm married to a beautiful woman. And him and a few others would ask me how come I went by Lazy Larry, because a lot of times I'd be at work or just get off work and get home. And so they know that I'd tell them, hey, I'm sorry I'm late. I just got home from work. And it'd be because I worked a 12-hour day and be after 8 o'clock at night. So they were saying, you're always working. How come Lazy Larry? So I did the first video to explain how I got the nickname and why I used it. And I enjoyed it. So I did another one. I did not do this YouTube channel to make money. I never did it to get, 1,000 subscribers, which I have. I did it for fun. I figure once I retire, I'm going to need something to get my butt up out of bed. Because I know that when I first retire, I'm going to have a hard time getting up every day for a while. Because it's like, oh, I don't have to go anywhere. I'm just going to stay here. And I will get up, but I'm going to be in bed quite a bit. The first, until I move over to the Philippines at least, I'll be in bed quite a bit at first. I know me. And even when I get up, I'll stay around the house quite a bit. That's why I started the YouTube channel. It gives me something to do, a reason to get out and do something. Because you gotta have something to do when you retire. You don't want to just sit around and die. You don't want to just sit around and do nothing. And so you got to figure out whether it's learning to play an instrument, learning to paint, travel. I guess you can get up and go to the bar every day, but that's just wasting your life too. I don't want to do that. Yeah. And Eileen Cruz says hi to you as well, Mike.
What's that?
Eileen Cruz, official, said hello, Sir Larry, and to your co-host as well. But so yeah. Derek says he loves your big soft dog there, Mike.
Yeah.
He's a big dog. No, what is he now? He's what?
I love you. You sure do.
What kind of dog is he now, Mike?
It's a pit bull and Brindle bulldog.
I was going to say he doesn't look like a full breed, but he does look still a little bit like a pit.
Yeah.
But
there's a little story behind him. I picked him out of a picture, and then I went to the house, and he's the first one. Well, he's the only one that came up to me when I went to the house. So it was like he picked me.
Now, what's his name?
Murphy.
Murphy? My favorite dog didn't live very long. He died as a puppy. He was silver, had a lightning bolt down his forehead. He was a German Shepherd Malamute mix.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah. Gorgeous silver. I named him Rowdy Yates. I don't know if you remember the show Rawhide.
Hey.
And hey, Danny, how you doing, man? Come on up. Oh, Danny, by the way, I start an hour earlier nowadays because I want to keep the time at the same as what it is in the Philippines all the time. So I started an hour earlier here in the States. And so, like I said, getting back to Rowdy, I named him Rowdy originally because he was my brother's dog's pup. It was her litter. And he was a big brute of a dog. And he would just bowl the others over. And he'd climb up. I'd be in bed. He'd climb up and get in bed with me. He wasn't big enough to jump up there. But he figured out how to climb up the stuff around the bed and get in. And then we started putting him outside in a fenced-in area. He kept getting out. And I kept trying to figure out how he was getting out. I would see a little hole. I'd make sure I had it plugged up. And the one day I'm out there, I watch him. He climbed the damn fence.
Yeah.
Yeah, he climbed the fence and got out. And the reason why he passed away, my neighbors had cats. And they dumped the litter, didn't get all the way in the trash can. Some of it got on the ground, and he got into the litter. And a cat can carry Provo's disease without getting it. Puppy disease, Provo or something like that. And he got that disease, and they either live through it or they don't. And he died the next day after he came down with it. But he was a gorgeous, gorgeous dog. Now, my brother Jim had one of the pups too. And now that one, his dog lived to be 15 years old. But he was brown and tan. And so he also had the makeup, like the markings were like a shepherd, but the coloring wasn't. Like I said, it was brown, a darker brown, and a tan, light tan. And that was Dusty. That was his dog. And after my brother passed away, my older brother, he died young. After he passed away, my mom started taking care of the dog. Now, Dusty, he would get loose and go run around. And so if you go out in your car and stop, you open up your door, he'd get in the car. But if you went straight home, the next time he got out, he wouldn't get in the car. So what you had to do was take him for a ride. Go for a 5-10 minute ride, go back home, and if he got out again, the next time he stopped, he'd get back in the car. You take him for a ride, he was happy. It didn't have to be super long. Just take him for a ride. And he loved it. And then he get back home and he's like, okay, I'll get out again. And so, yeah, it was a trip. I mean, but now we had another neighbor got one of the pups, and it was a darker silver or gray than what Rowdy was. He wasn't quite as big. And somebody stole that dog off his front porch where he went to college. And while he was at school, somebody went up on his porch and stole his dog. And then his brother Larry, that was Jerry, his brother Larry got one of the dogs, and he lived quite a while too. Now he named his dog Bear because they all got pretty big. I mean, probably about as big as your dog. Like I said, the Malamute's a big dog, and the Shepherd, they're not real small, but you combine the two, they get husky and a little bigger. And so yeah, he got up there, and
are we heading to Elvies?
Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and shut it down. I had a few people come in. I had to say hi.
Yeah.
Now, Danny, I'm going over to LV Rose Inso's channel. She's celebrating her 2-year anniversary being on YouTube. I believe it's being monetized for 2 years. I'm a sponsor for a celebration, so I'm going to go over there. I've been going for about an hour and a half now, so just remember I started an hour earlier now. Let's see, I'm trying to think. So it'd probably be about 6 o'clock your time, I think I start. I start 7 o'clock here in New York. In the Eastern time zone, it's 7 o'clock until the time change again. Then I'll go back to 8. But Jerry's probably already over at Elvis, or at least, he's maybe busy doing something else. All right, everybody, I'm gonna go ahead and shut this one down. I got a couple of things I want to do that I'm going to do Elvis' channel and give her some support. So I want to thank you all for coming. Thank you for giving the thumbs up that you gave me. And Remember to be kind to each other. Take care of yourselves. Stay safe. Stay healthy. Blessed as always. Try to have fun. Bye, everybody. Take care.
Bye.